You might have heard the news about some changes going on at Amazon with your Kindles, and I wanted to go ahead and have a look at this. I saw the article come down. I finally got a chance to read it and seek to understand it. I think that there's a little bit of information that's not quite as correct. There's a little bit of misunderstanding about what all is going on here, and I want to talk a little bit about that, ebooks, and why, for me, even as somebody who consumes ebooks, this really actually doesn't even change me and probably not a lot of people, although there are some things to keep in mind, especially if you like reading books on a little device like a Kindle here. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about the various points, the issues, and things in this video as we have a look at some nice desert landscape. Ultimately, what's happening here is when you purchase an ebook, you used to have, we're talking years and years and years ago, 15 or so years ago, when Kindle was first emerging as a new technology, when these devices were brand new and clunky, and a lot of these devices didn't even have wireless chips in them, then you would buy a book on Amazon, you'd download it to your computer, and then you'd plug your device into the computer and then manually transfer the book from your device over into it. And you would basically connect it, and it would connect onto a service on Amazon's website, allowing you to move the book over. Now, what's happening here at the end of February is that they are removing the capability of purchasing a book and then transferring it directly to the device, or what's relevant here is downloading a copy of that ebook onto your device. Onto your computer, we should say. Now, the Kindle terms have by and large not changed. There was an update in December. I read it. There's nothing in there that is specifically different than there ever has been in the past. So ultimately, they're just clarifying that, hey, you don't own these books. You just lease these books. So this just removes your ability to manage your Kindle books on your computer, interfacing them with Amazon's website. This does not interfere with managing your books from an application such as Calibri, which we are going to talk about here a little bit. So ultimately, all that's happening here is Amazon is removing a section from its website, allowing you to download your books to your device directly through a service on the website. There's been no change in the books. You've never owned them. They've never even really clarified that differently. So all of the discussion right now, I think, is a lot of people misunderstanding what exactly is going on. You can still transmit your books onto your device using the wireless, which is the way they've been doing it for 10 plus years, and then you can plug this device into your computer and you can download those books as long as they are DRM free. Of course, if they are not DRM free, you could crack some of the older formats, the newer ones. We don't have all the crack codes worth, but you're not supposed to do that anyway, and at least here in America, you shouldn't do that anyway. But we'll go ahead and discuss that in our next point a little bit more. So we want to talk very briefly about DRM, because that is one of those central points involved in Amazon Kindle books. Now, not all books on Amazon are DRM locked. It is actually dependent on the publisher who will upload the files, or the author. In the case of a small publisher, there's an option: do you want it DRM locked or not? Obviously, Amazon tries to push DRM locking because it prevents people from distributing the books. I think it's up to the individual publisher and the authors to make that determination themselves. Now, ultimately, if you see a book that is in Kindle Unlimited, it is DRM locked. A requirement of having a book in Kindle Unlimited, it's called KDP Unlimited on the back end, is to DRM lock your book. And this allows you to purchase a subscription, allowing you to view as many books as you want through the course of the month that are enrolled in that particular program. All of those books, if they're in the program, if you have that or not, any book in the Kindle Unlimited program is DRM locked. So if you are looking for DRM free books, you can't do that. Additionally, Amazon is so abusive in its customer policies that if you have it in the KDP Select program, you cannot actually list it anywhere else for sale, including on your own personal website. It's one of the terms of service of using that. So this is why I personally do not use that KDP Unlimited. I've used it for one book one time for a very limited run, because you have to keep it in the program, I think 90 days. So I did run one of my books as a test exclusive to KDP Unlimited, allowing anybody to use it, but it DRM locked it and prevented me from even listing the book for sale as an ebook on my own website. And so the DRM's function of a book is certainly a matter of the publisher to do. Now, the new book formats that Amazon has, they've changed their formats a few times. They're getting rid of one of the old ones. They're left with a couple new ones. The new format that they're distributing the most, generally, I do not think has been cracked yet. As I said, though, as it goes in the United States, it is a violation of the law to crack a book, so you should not be doing that anyway. And so just keep that in mind. But none of this changes the fact that if I get a book on my Kindle device and it is not DRM locked, nothing stops me from downloading the book onto my computer. So nothing has actually changed here. If a book was DRM before, I couldn't download it. If it was not DRM before, I could download it. That is all that has changed. That's where I think the misunderstanding is in this new policy. The change actually only has to do with when you purchase a book on Amazon, can you transfer it from Amazon to your device with the USB cable? Right now, Amazon is changing that to say you can no longer do that. They have no say in connecting this to your device and managing your book on this device with a, with something like Calibri. And mentioning that, this is the Kindle that I've set up before. I had a whole video on it. This Kindle has never seen the internet. I don't have ads on this. This is supposed to be the ad-supported tier Kindle. I've never actually seen ads on it because this has never touched the internet. I turned it on and I plugged it into my computer, and I use this to manage all of my ebooks in my Calibri library. And so as far as that is concerned, nothing in this is changing from that perspective. But we do want to discuss a little bit more. Let's talk about why this has not changed at all for me and how you can consider that going forward. And then we'll talk a little bit about where you can find DRM free books for purchase, or maybe a little bit for download. So as far as things have changed on my end, absolutely nothing has changed, because I stopped buying books on Amazon a long time ago. They were just too anti-consumer. They had too many things going for them that I really just didn't like. And so for me, I haven't bought books on Amazon outside of extraordinarily rare exceptions, and usually that was tied to my business. As far as personal consumption, a good 5 or 10 years ago, I stopped buying books from Amazon altogether because I wanted to make sure I owned what I bought. I have been using the Calibri system for many years, sometimes running ebook servers, sometimes just running everything locally, which works actually for my Kindle, because to use this on the internet at all would be dangerous. What I do is I will source DRM free where possible. Now you can go into your Calibri and click the button that says Get Books, and you can sort by different book systems, and you can actually sort by DRM free copies of books. So that's one place you can do. And some publishers will make books available. So ebooks.com allows you to go in and explicitly search for DRM free books. Now, I actually looked at my books over there, and for some reason they are DRM locked, even though I explicitly set no locking. I have reached out to ebooks.com to find out what's going on, and I will rectify that problem with them. Kobo also has some. I think my books were listed as DRM locked over there as well. I don't know why. My books on Amazon are not. So if you download my books on Amazon, you can get them and have them in your digital copy. Of course, I make them available, and this is something else. Look at individual publishers of books, especially small authors. You might be able to buy those books directly from those publishers. You can that from me. All my books are at PayHip, payhip.com/ I think it's OWIC. I'll have that link in the description. And you can buy them directly from my website as well if you're national, like United States. International, PayHip.com sells internationally. You can buy all my ebooks and audiobooks DRM free from that site. Kobo, as I said, does have a DRM free section, and there's possibly some other places that you might be able to find ebooks for sale as well with DRM free. I will use DRM only as a last option, typically opting to buy a paper copy if those are my only other options. And so we'll talk a little bit about managing your library here in the next section. So I want to wrap up this video here just talking very briefly about using Calibri to manage your library. This is an open source application allowing you to manage ebooks. It has a network option if you want to do it over the internet. It has local server options, and it just has a number of ways you can convert books between different formats. You can transfer books to devices like a Kindle or a Kobo reader or a Nook or all these other different types of devices. All of those are available to do if you are using the particular application. Inside of there, you can sort them, you can edit them, you can adjust the metadata, you can organize your collection, you can save them, you can back them up. That's actually what I do, is I will collect various books or series off of organizations like Project Gutenberg, which is a great place to download free books from. They're all free, public domain, open sourced, you know, all that kind of jazzy stuff. You can go ahead and use those as a good place. But using this application, it is also available cross-platform. If you're not yet dedicated to Linux, you can go ahead and use that on your Windows or on your Mac computer as well. It'll work just as well over there. But that gives you number one, a physical local backup of your ebooks, and two, the easy ability to manage. Suppose that you're just done with Kindle and you find all of the books on your Kindle that are DRM free and you save those to your library and you're like, I'm done with these Kindles. You can switch to another e-reader, plug that guy in, and have Calibri move those books over onto your new device as well, so you can keep reading. That's, I mean, I do like the Kindle. But as I said, I would not like this Kindle if it were popping up ads every time I turn it on. That would drive me crazy. And this was part of an experiment to see if you never put a Kindle on the internet, can you still use it without getting ads? The answer is yes at the time I did this video. I was told that they have closed that loophole. I have not confirmed that. So I'm not totally sure that's going to work, but I'll leave you with that video as we leave here. I'll go ahead and card that as the next video in your playlist there. But if you like this type of content, let me know what your thoughts are. Did you learn something new about Amazon's approach and what they were doing, or did you actually truly understand what was going on here? Let me know that in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so, and have a look at this video here about managing your Kindle without ever touching the internet.